I want to start now by saying when I, a few months ago, got the agenda for today and saw that I was on the lineup to speak to everybody about the future of work, I thought, this is a little peculiar. Do they not know that I'm a history professor? If I'd been asked to speak to you about the history of work, we could have had a great time with me telling you about the history of work in early 19th century US in the context of slavery and emancipation, the Industrial Revolution and women's work, and I really would have been in my element. So in order to make myself comfortable, I did what historians do. I thought about the past, and I thought about my past in particular. I thought about my first job, right? My own work history, and how much things have changed since the mid to late 80s. So you all can do the math on how old I am. I'm not here tonight, though, to entertain you with stories about my own work history, and there are some funny ones, but rather I'm here to talk to you about the future of work, and specifically what we're doing at Emory to prepare our students for the future of work. As we all know, our society has witnessed seismic technological changes in the past 2 decades alone. So consider this. 20 years ago, before the introduction of the iPhone, there were about 740 million cell phone service contracts around the world. 740 million. Today, there are over 8 billion cell phone service contracts globally. That is roughly equal to the number of people living on the planet Earth. Some of us have more than 2 phones. I have my 2 in the back. I suspect many of you have 2, potentially 3, in your pockets or at home waiting for you. Technology has changed virtually every aspect of our lives, whether it's bond trading, watching a movie, getting laser surgery on your eyes, simply making a phone call, or interacting with a chatbot when you're trying to authorize and activate your new Emory corporate card because you're the dean. That was a thing. But it's that emergence of generative AI and questions about how artificial intelligence is going to affect everything in our lives, from creative writing to the future of banking and financial services. And all of this seems to be on everyone's mind these days. We can't escape it in the news cycle. The World Economic Forum, for its future of job survey for 2023, tells us that technology for the next 5 years will continue to be the major disruptor in business. But while AI and new technologies are disrupting the current labor market, the pace of automation is actually slower than had previously been predicted about 5 years ago, which is good news for us at Emory, right? And good news for those of you who are parents of Emory students, because it means the chatbots and the robots are not taking over quite yet. There is still very much a need for thoughtful, educated individuals in every sector. Studies from the Pew Research Center consistently reveal that the most valuable and essential skills for employment now and in the future are the ability to think critically, to think analytically, and to think creatively. The ability to work in teams of diverse team members with diverse experiences and viewpoints. Likewise, the rapid development of technology means that the future of work will require tomorrow's workers, today's students, to develop the skills and habits of mind that allow them to be resilient, flexible, self-motivated, curious, and open to lifelong learning. So, what are we doing at Emory today to prepare students for the work world of tomorrow? First, one of the things that is the hallmark of Emory University is our deep and abiding commitment to a liberal arts education. Exposure to the arts, sciences, humanities, and social sciences enables our students to develop a broad set of skills and a breadth and depth of knowledge that will serve them well in the future. Students in our classes taught by world-class faculty hone the ability to formulate questions, to read carefully, to understand context and nuance, and to learn to communicate their arguments persuasively in writing and in oral presentations. Think about the language requirement at Emory. By taking language classes, students are learning so much more than simply how to speak in Spanish or German or Arabic or French and Italian. They're deepening their understanding of cultural nuance, cultural history. They're becoming better able and equipped to appreciate cultural differences and diversity, and better able to relate to people from different backgrounds. So think for 1 minute about the Ice Bucket Challenge that was popular a few years ago as a fundraiser to combat ALS. People would dump a bucket of icy cold water over their heads and raise money and generate contributions to support research for ALS. But this is a culturally specific challenge. In other parts of the world, it was seen as a tremendous waste of an incredibly precious and valuable resource, fresh water. So other parts of the world developed different kind of challenges and different ways of raising awareness and raising funds to combat prevalent diseases. So that awareness of cultural specificity is one of the great benefits that comes from a liberal arts education. Now, there are many researchers who study student success and what it takes to build programs and build institutions in which students can thrive. One of the things that we know and that the research has demonstrated is that students' success is often amplified by inclusion in high-impact practices, by which we mean things like study abroad programs, internships, intensive research experiences, no matter the discipline. So whether you're in a chemistry lab, or you're in the archives working with a historian, or you're reading texts with a philosopher, participation in these kinds of activities improves not only students' academic success, but their personal growth and sense of personal satisfaction, and can contribute to professional success later in life. At Emory, I'm really proud to note that we are committed to ensuring that all of these high-impact opportunities are accessible to all of our students, regardless of financial need. At Emory, about 7% of our incoming class is the first in their family to attend college. And of the 5,700 students who are enrolled as undergraduates at Emory, about 60% of them receive some form of financial aid. Now, last year, in some pilot programs, thanks to the generosity of many of you, our alumni, parents, and friends, we were able to award over $600,000 to support about 300 students who were pursuing summer internships. The funds that we were able to award covered the cost of housing, of travel, and other life expenses, meaning that students who might otherwise have had to get a job, and perhaps not the job of their choice, to earn money to support themselves, instead had the opportunity to participate in internships in fields like film and media in Los Angeles. They were able to do research in labs across the country. They did internships in fields such as journalism, business, and politics, all of which gave them valuable work experiences, exposure to the professions they thought they might want to pursue, and perhaps most importantly, connections with mentors and supporters who will be able to help them and guide them later on. So why is all of this important for the future? Why is this important to how we're preparing students at Emory for the future of work? As I've said, we live in a world that's marked by rapid and unpredictable change, and more recently, by visible and significantly dramatic crises. We can think of the global pandemic, deadly heat waves, droughts, flooding, civil and political unrest abroad and at home. And all of these factors affect the future of work. They affect what the future of work will look like. And more importantly, they're affecting how our students are thinking about themselves and their futures and their future of work. The Pew Research Center tells us that young people today are deeply concerned about the environment and climate change, that they're committed to issues of social equality and inclusion, whether at home in their local communities or nationally and internationally, that they want to bring their whole selves to work. They want to be recognized as individuals with distinctive interests and identities. They want to be part of a collective that shares their goals and ambitions, and that they want to be recognized for the value of their individuality and what they can contribute to their employers and the work that they do. No matter their major, creative writing, chemistry, philosophy, women's studies, whatever it is, our students are energetic, they're inquisitive, they are highly motivated, they are pushing themselves, they are pushing their peers, and they are pushing their dean to ask and answer tough questions about how we are preparing them to serve the greater good while they are in college and after. There's no doubt about the fact they are driven to succeed. But as the dean of Emory College, as the dean of your students, of all of our students, I'm thinking about their success at Emory and beyond, not just in terms of academic achievement, not just in terms of professional outcomes. I want to make sure that at Emory, we are giving our students the tools and opportunities to develop as individuals, to focus on who they want to become, as well as what they want to do. They have great ambitions. They are setting challenging goals for themselves, and I love hearing about it. I love hearing about their classes, their research, their internships, their study abroad experiences, their aspirations. They are going to change the world. I have no doubt about it. But after they tell me about what they're doing in classes and what internships they had and where they're going to study abroad, I always stop and ask them, what do you do for fun? What are you doing to relax? What are you doing to take care of yourselves physically and emotionally? Because resting and finding those moments of joy is an equally, if not more important part of preparing for the future. So at Emory, we're teaching our students to be positive, we're teaching them to be creative, to be curious, to solve problems, to accept that trial and error is the path to discovery and resiliency, so that they are ready and able to pivot and adapt in the face of future change, and so that they are ready and able to lead the change of the future. Thank you.